Guys, let's get 800 likes and I will release a new part. Eugene congratulates his brother on his promotion, noting that he is now free to call him a Chiliarch. The hero claims that this title does not interest him. Then the friend jokingly says that he can apply for the rank of colonel or general, and then announces what exactly. He will be his assistant today, and tomorrow his general. The hero notices that he didn't say such a thing. Their conversation is interrupted by a girl. It encourages them to move in the same direction. Tenjin thinks about how he should get out of this situation. The guy decides to introduce himself to one of the riders. His name is Wui, and he is a colonel of the 3rd Corps. The man apologizes for the events that took place earlier, wishing give the hero a horse as an apology. The guy notes that there's nothing wrong with that happened and thanks for the space. The interviewee states that they are now on the same side. Therefore, there is no need to follow the formalities, because he is only a few years older than him, so he can call him Brother Wu. Tenjin climbs into the square, saying that respect is one of the most important things in the army. This causes Colonel Wu laughs. Eugene, on the other hand, knows in his mind that Brother Teng is doing a great job, and he's in a good mood. He didn't doubt it. Brother Wu informs them that they will rest in the evening, and then he will be given his badge and a new uniform, and there's nothing he can do about the warriors, because they've lost too many battles. Third and the 4th Corps had more than 20,000 warriors, but no one was left. They also had 10 Chiliarchs are at the very beginning of the campaign, but 5 of them are already dead, and 2 more are deadly wounded. Only 3 of them can fight. Now they need more than just Chiliarchs. The colonel points out that, fortunately, both the ladies of dance were unharmed, so now they are being treated to the same treatment. The main task is to protect them. Tenjin falls a little behind the group to call Eugene over, from whom he decides to ask who the ladies of dance are. This causes a stupor in a scientist who does not know what to do. Understands how his brother might not know who they are. Eugene begins to explain. The one who gave him the rank, Wume, General Dance. The other one is the same. This is Wu In, Jin's 2nd daughter. The guy asks his brother to remain vigilant and give them appearances fool themselves, because they are cold-blooded, evil, cruel devils. This surprises Tenjin a little, but he still takes these words into account. Evening comes, and the army sets up camp. Brother Wu comes to the hero's tent, taking his new combat uniform with him and equipment. The guy takes a small sign, realizing that it is his token. Comrades are happy that the general kept his word, which is why Tenjin will now look like a real Chiliarch. The hero decides to find out if he can make Eugene his assistant. Brother Wu points out that it's all up to him. It is the Chiliarch who can decide who to appoint. After that, the colonel asks the hero to go with him to the generals because they have business with him. Tenjin asks if the other person knows what she wants from him. The man obviously knows, however, says he'll know when to meet her. The hero asks you to wait, deciding first. Try on a new form. Wu is waiting for the guy outside the tent. It doesn't take long for him to get out of it. A new uniform. The guards at the general's tent only let him pass because they want to. See you alone. He gets a suspicious premonition. He wants to apologize for what bothered him at such a late hour. But when he opens the curtain to the tent, he freezes because a representative of the fair sex lies in a very provocative pose, saying that she is very happy. See it? Tenjin asks right from the doorway why General Wu needed him at such a late hour. He looks away from me, so as not to be provoked. The girl laughs, saying that General Tenjin is as smart as he is brave, and this armor, they sit on it like a glove. The hero asks the interlocutor not to mock him. She asks him to sit down, and the hero fulfills this request, taking a samurai pose on his knees. A representative of the fair sex clarifies whether a weapon is suitable for a young person. That one gives a short answer, saying that this will do. She also says that her father gave this sword as a gift when she was 18 years old. At the same time, the girl crawls up to the interlocutor, touching then he looks directly into the guy's eyes, noting that he hopes that General Tenjin is a good guy. Stay with them. Tenjin thanks General Wu, claiming that she is very generous. The girl opens the map, saying that according to the latest data, the Ning army is located in this area, at a point on the only accessible road to Tongmen. There are more than 8,000 of them. Thus, will have to go back to Tongmen and fight off the attack. The hero understands that they are waiting for a hard job. General Wu says it's very difficult, but there's nothing you can do about it. The enemy's strength is great, but its units are dispersed. Having selected a selected squad, they attack in the center. Then both flanks of the enemy will move to the center to repel the attack. The girl notices that General Tenjin is like a dragon and a phoenix among people, so if she takes over the command of the unit that strikes in the center, she can be sure of success of the entire operation. The hero is silent, thinking about the situation. Representative. The fair sex believes that General Tenjin will not refuse to carry out this order. Guy declares that after the generosity shown to her, he has no choice but to take a chance with your life and do it. The girl understands that she was not mistaken in the interlocutor. She puts her arm around his shoulders, making sure he doesn't. If he wants to stay any longer, General Wu wants to kiss him, but the brunette abruptly breaks up, distance himself by pulling him to his feet and telling him that he was good at killing more people, not killing more people. Courtship. The hero turns around, claiming to have understood General Wu's plan, so he asks for permission. Leave it, noticing that he will wait for the order to move. With that, he leaves the tent. Girls. She also knows that she has stumbled upon a very interesting specimen. When he returns to his tent, he tells his friends what they are going to do. Eugene says it's certain death. Tenjin also notices that his brother once said that he had 5 carts of knowledge in his head. A small cart, which means he'll figure out a way for them to save their own skins. The scientist begins. Reflect on the situation. The hero says that they need a plan to break through deep enemy units to their commander-in-chief. He asks the other person to think about it while he sleeps. Eugene, on the other hand, understands that he has been given a great responsibility, so he starts analyzing it. After a while, he comes to the conclusion that if the brother, Tenjin, wants to get to their commander, there's only one way to do it. The next morning, at dawn, the hero gathers all his people. The order has already been received, so he won't be able to refuse. The guy says he doesn't want to put them in a difficult position, so if they want to go with him, he will be happy, and if they don't want to, he won't force them. He informs them that they can stay and follow General Wu. Zhang Bao first falls on me, stating that if it wasn't for brother Tenjin, he would have been killed by warrior Ning long ago, so his life is in the hands of his savior. Where brother Tenjin goes, so does he. The heads of the other squads fall to their knees, saying that they will follow brother Tenjin into the fire and water. This triggers a battle cry from the soldiers, which increases morale. The hero decides to clarify that they might die if they follow him, so he asks if they are not afraid of death. The soldiers in one voice shout that with brother Tenjin they are not afraid of the devil himself. Then the guy gives the orders. Zhang Bao's men will have to change into Ning warriors' uniforms. The third squad will pretend to be prisoners. Eugene starts to say something, but the hero interrupts him, noting that this whole thing is extremely dangerous, so his deputy will remain here with the sisters. Wu. He orders the guy not to follow him into the heat of battle. The scientist specifies whether they will see each other. More of them. The brunette admits that he doesn't know, but he will try to come back. There's a man here who brought it to him yesterday. Reports that General Wu is ordering them to move out. The hero commands about the beginning. Operations. Soldiers during the march sing a song. When trouble came to the country, I went to war. I will die with honor or return with glory. At this time, second sister Deng says she doesn't know. Why did my sister choose this person? Because his Reiki is not so powerful. The girl is the same. He claims that he feels that everything will work out for him. The hero puts the point of the sword to the enemy's throat. He doesn't understand what's going on because Tenjin has put his clothes on. Ning's uniform. Everyone else turns around at this sight, and the hostage realizes that they have. A spy appeared in the rear. The guy cuts the enemy soldier's throat without any hesitation. Blood flows freely. One of the soldiers tries to inform the others about the enemy, demanding that they do not let him near them. To the prince, Tenjin also throws a sword at him, which plunges into the mouth, coming out from the back of the head. The man drops dead, and the guy warns that he will kill all those who stand in his way. The soldiers are ordered to kill the impudent man, but the hero calmly moves towards his goal by cutting. An ordinary warrior with his sword appears, a man with a beard and mustache, clad in golden armor. He demands that everyone leave his place. Roads. At the same time, a group of soldiers leading prisoners of war is stopped at the Ning checkpoint. They demand that you let them pass immediately, because this group of Feng prisoners may have important information. The soldier at the gate says that the head of you has just come with news that they will be able to. We'll have to wait. The interviewee states that since such circumstances have developed, they'll wait here. Soldier Ning notices that they are tired, so they can rest, because the head of you, it won't be free for a while yet. This forces a Feng soldier disguised in an enemy uniform tense up and ask why this is. The reason is the prince. Such a display of curiosity makes the guard tense. So he notices that the other person is asking too many questions for an ordinary soldier. At this point, the guy draws his sword. The guy plunges the point of the sword into the soldier's throat, and then uses it as a support too. They could jump on nearby Ning soldiers, one of whom wants to report the enemy, but already it's too late, because his head is flying off his shoulders. The other soldiers step forward, pointing at me. They surround the guy, trying to attack him from a decent distance and at the same time with the help of long spears, but he bends down in time, and then cuts off all of them with a sweeping movement. Opponent's legs. Those present are tense because of such unique skills of the guy. He's taking off his helmet, showing your face. This person turns out to be the hero. Zhang Bao asks Brother Teng, "Move forward," leaving the rest of the bastards to him. That's what he does. A commotion begins in the inner part of the camp. Higher ranks give orders, strengthen security, because if something happens, they're screwed. Tenjin understands that he needs to go faster, get to the main tent, because his guys won't last long. Then he hears a rustle, sides of the tent entrance. Soldier Ning comes to him and immediately points his sword at him, asking who he was and what he was doing here. The guy claims that the enemy is so strong that he decided to sit out here. Upon hearing this, the interviewee, he screams that he is a pathetic coward and that he will be court-martialed. Tenjin orders him, "Shut up." The hero draws his sword with a quick horizontal swing. The opponent dodges it, bending in time. He then concentrates the energy in his sword and strikes at the enemy, to the spy. But Tenjin dodges in time with a jump to the side. Soldier Ning cuts through the tent fabric. The general of the enemy army decides to find out whether the hero belongs to Feng Lai. The last one is confident, confirms it. Then the enemy, having evaluated the abilities of the guy and realizing that he is not an ordinary soldier, decides to find out his name. Tenjin introduces himself. The man notices that he has never heard this name. After that, the hero decides to find out the name. "Your enemy, his name is Yangku." Tenjin responds with the same coin, stating that he has never heard of him. Yangku notices that he has slipped into his army, but now he can't escape. But if he does, if he surrenders now, then there is a chance that he will spare him. The hero declares that everything will be solved in the future, in combat, then adds to it by pointing the sword in the direction of the enemy and saying that there is a lot of excess from it. Noise level. A charge of energy passes through the man's hand, which he releases in the direction of the hero. The same is not. It moves from its place. Tenjin accepts the pressure not for himself, noting his strength. The other soldiers are Ning. They can't move from this pressure. Yangku doesn't wait for the guy to come to his senses and recover. He immediately attacks it. Tenjin manages to completely evade the attack. The enemy's spear stabs him in the side. He clutches at the wound, realizing that the case smells fried. The opponent says that the boy has chosen an enemy that is too tough for him. The hero isn't. "I intend to just give up." He throws his sword at the opponent's face. Yangku says that this is a dirty trick, and then breaks the thing flying at him in mid-flight. The weapon is delivered in one precise and quick blow, but the guy is no longer there. On his arm, a tear went off, black fire, and he headed towards the crowd of Ning soldiers that surrounded them. With a few touches, Tenjin burns the carcasses of enemies, restoring his reserve of strength and healing the wound. His eyes change again, turning red with a black iris. The other enemies quickly realize that this is a dark art, noticing that his wounds are completely destroyed. They were healed. Yangku also lashes out at the hero, claiming that he will pay for this with his life. The enemy leader misses. His spear does not find its target, and Tenjin accelerates, killing even more of his soldiers and replenishing their energy reserves. This angers the man, so he lets go. Release your entire aura, covering yourself with a layer of energy. Tenjin feels the danger coming from the enemy. The same one shouts that it is the spear of the Soul Slayer. The next moment, energy arrows start raining down from the sky, killing the soldiers. Ning, the hero, hides behind the carcass of one of them, calmly waiting for this attack. The shelling continues, but the guy doesn't waste any time. He analyzes the situation, noticing that the tent is on the hill directly in front of him. He notices that the guards at the tent are too calm. When their battle is going on nearby, Tenjin understands that there is someone important in the tent. He realizes that Yangku Reiki is beyond his imagination, so he is definitely not a match for him. Here it is. He notices a young man peeking out of the tent, wondering what happened. He also says that he has heard that the killer is in the camp, so it is not clear to him why he has not yet been informed. They brought his head. One of the soldiers, addressing the guy as His Highness, reports that General Yang is currently fighting with the enemy, so he is sure that he will defeat him soon, but he asks the guy to return to the tent. The prince laughs, saying that they have so many warriors on their side, and the enemy is just an ordinary small one, a thief, so he has nothing to fear. At the same time, beauties hang on the guy, and in his hands he holds a golden glass. He orders the guards to disperse so that he can watch it. One of the subordinates again. He says that it is very dangerous, because he has heard that the enemy practices a dark martial art, so he asks him to go back to the tent. This, on the contrary, causes enthusiasm in the prince, because to him, "I want to take a look at this dark art." At the same time, the hero continues to reduce. Distance yourself from the prince, killing his soldiers along the way. Tenjin's aura is becoming increasingly sinister. Black fire now envelops all of his bodies, allowing you to move so fast that ordinary soldiers simply cannot oppose anything. General Yang orders the worthless bastards to capture him immediately. because this is a game of cats. It should come to an end. The man is enveloped in a pall of red energy, and he breaks into follow the guy at an incredible speed. Tenjin deals with Ning soldiers with his bare hands, simply ripping off their heads and easily breaking through their armor. Yangku appears behind him, raising his loaded spear. Red energy for impact. General Yang's attack overtakes the guy, which is why he draws a strip of several meters with his carcass. Meters. The prince's guard notices that General Yang has taken him down, so there's no need to be afraid. Prince. He claims that he knew he was a weakling and that General Yang was unique. The hero raises his own. A glance, realizing that he and his target were only a few measly meters away. Tenjin gets to his feet, and the prince notices that the enemy is still alive, so he orders, "Kill him immediately." A huge number of copies surround the guy, but he does not even think to give up. While dodging the attacks of ordinary warriors, the hero uses dark flames to kill them, restore them, and save them. Use your powers and heal your wounds. However, the people who protect the prince are not Bass-Zone. 2. The spears still reach the hero, piercing his stomach. He coughs up blood, then looks up and looks into the prince's eyes, smiling. The latter is annoyed by this, so he screams that he will tear him to pieces. At this point, the hero's aura becomes even more sinister. When the other soldiers are about to stab it from all sides, it disappears, starting with a bullet. Move at breakneck speed. He finds himself standing next to the prince, who drops his phone in shock. Glass. General Yang realizes that he has contacted the assassin in the shadows. He orders to protect the prince, but already, it's late. Tenjin is behind the prince, ready to break his neck at any moment. He orders no one to move, otherwise he will burn the hostage to ashes. Yangku steps forward, declaring that Tom should stop. The hero also notices that if he wants to protect his, then he must first do something for the master. The man orders to say that the guy needs it, and if something happens to his highness, he will kill him. On the hand of General Yang, golden energy passes through. This causes laughter to Tenjin, who says that life is his own. The master is in his hands, so he should be prepared to negotiate. The guy also urges not to use spiritual pressure on him, because this will not surprise him. He also ensures that his dark flame kills the master faster than he can do anything else. Do it, and if he doesn't believe it, then he is ready to check. General Yang asks the hero not to be stupid and say what he wants. First, the guy demands to release his people. Yangku is informed that this is not a problem, specifying what other requirements there will be. The hero tells him to do his first task. Requirement. For clarity, he squeezes the prince's throat tightly. The man asks to stop, promising to fulfill his request. Tenjin mentally understands that the situation is worse than ever. After all, he is surrounded by strong enemies, and the presence of their leader and hostages does not guarantee him survival. Besides, no one can help him because his people are too far away from him right now. Yangku orders the hostages to be brought here. After a few minutes, the hero's people come to him. Zhang Bao reports that the others are dead. Tenjin orders you to stand around him and don't touch him. Let Ning's men get closer. As soon as the subordinates carry out this order, the guy says its second requirement. He orders 30 horses to be equipped immediately and give his people the swords. General Yang doesn't understand why Tom needs so many horses. The hero isn't. He does not intend to say so, but simply orders them to comply with this requirement, otherwise he will kill them. The master, the prince, asks not to be killed, and then orders Yangku to do whatever he says. The man gives the order to equip the horses. When all Feng soldiers receive horses, the hero demands that the enemy soldiers let them pass. General Yang asks that he dismissed his highness. The guy also says that he will do it when he leaves and is in the hospital. And if he doesn't believe him, then there's nothing he can do about it, because his death, equivalent to the prince's death. The latter asks Yangku to just give as he says. If something happens to him, he should go to his brother and tell him about it. Man orders the gate to be opened. The hero, along with his people, sends forward on horseback. He is being chased by General Yang So. With your own people, the hero demands that he order that no one dares to pursue them. The man tells the interlocutor to release his majesty first. The guy explains that he will only do this after they arrive in Tongmen, and before that, the prince will be with him. Yangku is the same. He says that if he does, he won't let him leave. Tenjin informs his brothers that they are heading to the Ning checkpoint. Zhang Bao a little surprised by this decision, so he asks if they're not going back to Tongmen and where they will go. The hero explains that they will go to Wu Yume, because they cannot do without their help, because there are too few of them, and he thinks they won't make it to Tongmen. Zhang Bao. He notices that General Wu should have reached the checkpoint by now. General Yang also pursues the hero's squad with several subordinates. He commands them, speed up, because they must save his highness in any way possible. At the same time, someone destroys a soldier's armor in one hit. Tenjin orders his subordinates to stop, because there is a battle ahead. The Feng soldiers are looking at. They are at a loss. Zhang Bao doesn't understand why they look at them like that. Here the hero hears his own name and turns around in the direction of the voice. Wu Mei is walking towards him. He notices that two sisters, at their spiritual level of control, can combine a shield. Spiritual weapons combined. But to reach this level, you need at least an aura no weaker than Wu Mei's. After that, he pays attention to her sister, Wu Yong, realizing that she doesn't care at all. No weaker than my sister. Tenjin admits that they are very strong, and that the two sisters are not just like that. You've earned yourself such a reputation. Tenjin thinks that his brother can't be on the battlefield right now because he doesn't know what to do. He is proficient in martial arts. Then he hears the voice of Eugene, who is happy that the guy alive. Soldier Ning finally catches up with the hero's squad. He notices that these are the only survivors of the Feng, then realizes that it was stupid not to understand right away. He is preparing to fight back against his own an enemy. Tenjin grins at this. At the same time, the prince comes to his senses. The hero grabs him by the throat, demanding that he give the order. Let your men fall back. The rich man asks to be spared. The enemy soldier calls the guy trash, then orders to surround the Feng squad. General Yang intervenes. He orders us to stop. The two Feng soldiers that were fighting in this area, they are surprised at the appearance of such a significant person here. One of them reports Jan, who said that there are martial artists among the enemies and they have heavy losses, but they managed to surround your enemies. General Yang orders them to be released. General Wu decides to find out who Tenjin captured. She puts a gun to the prince's head, ordering you to speak. His name is Yu Sheng, and he is the third son of King Ning. It's not much, surprises the girl. The rich man notices a guy who says that since she already knows who he is, then she should better let him go. A representative of the fair sex laughs at this, mentally noting that the other person does not understand what position they are in. General Wu praises the hero, saying that she wasn't wrong about him and that he served her well this time. Once, after that, the girl turns to the enemy leader, asking if it is General Yang Ku. He gives a positive answer, asking with whom he has the honor to speak. It is presented after, whereupon the man declares that if she frees His Majesty, he will use his powers, make connections to help them avoid the consequences and leave safely. Representative. The fairer sex grins at this. Seeing this, Yang Ku clarifies that she doesn't believe him. The latter claims that now it is not available to anyone. He confides in her, then tells her that he will return to Tongmen with his men first, and only then. After that, she will release His Highness. General Yang asks if they have the ability to something to negotiate. The hero presses on the neck of the prince, who asks his subordinate agree because it hurts him. This makes the man give up, saying that while His Highness unharmed, they won't take any action. Upon hearing this, General Wu informs them that they are leaving General Yang. She commands to move out. Soldier Ning doesn't believe that they will just let them go. General Yang also notes that they are nothing. They can't help it, because they have His Highness as a hostage. The problem is that the probability that if you try to save the prince, he will die, and no one will want to be responsible for this responsibility. The man decides that it is impossible to hide the fact that one of the three princes was captured, so he orders to report it to the second prince. The prince cries, realizing that he was in a very unenviable position. The girl notes that this is the second trap that Tenjin has successfully circumvented. The latter declares that this is all thanks to General Wu's guidance, thoughtful planning, and great strategy. However, he hoped that next time the girl wouldn't dump so much on his head. Eugene, like any reasonable person, is aware that his brother has said a little too much, so he immediately asks if he is injured. The hero claims that he has only a small abrasion. General Wu tosses him a small container of liquid. The guy catches it, asking what it is. She also explains that this is a painkiller. Tenjin thanks her for this. General Wu hurries to ask him not to think about drinking it, because this medicine is applied to the wound. The hero takes these words into account. A second nurse appears from behind and clarifies how to. The guy managed to catch Yu Sheng. The prince says he used magic. This is surprising. Both girls ask again what the word magic means. The prisoner says that in that time, the guy was standing in front of him, and he didn't understand how the guy used magic, but after a moment, he did. I was right behind him, because otherwise he wouldn't have been able to grab him. Tenjin responds to the prince, a slap on the back of the head, saying that he doesn't need to open his mouth, because there's no need for anything. Explain. General Wu decides to find out what they will do with the prisoner, kill him or let him go. Eugene interrupts the conversation, stating that they can't leave him, so he suggests sending him to Tongmen after he kills him. He understands that although Feng has suffered a huge loss, and they being able to take one of the three princes of Ning, it can't be considered compensation. Hostage C. He is surprised to realize that they are going to kill him. Looking down on the enemy's camp from a hill, the scientist says there are at least 4 armies there. This, more than 400,000 people. The interviewee notices that even if this is not the case, they will soon be able to find out more. It will be exactly that much. Eugene doesn't know how to get through when there are so many enemies out there. Tenjin claims that they will pass between them using their majesty's importance to them. The hero offers to go further. General Wu doesn't understand where the guy is going. He informs them that they will be on their way to Tongmen. The interviewee asks him to wait for her. I could think through everything. Tenjin also notes that if they stay, they will find themselves in even greater dangers. The guy says that they should continue to move because they become vulnerable when they stop, so you should skip very quickly. The second sister understands that even if they will kill Yu Sheng and stay put, this is the end for them, so she approves of the guy's plan, wanting to take advantage of the opportunity. After hearing the approval of a loved one, General Wu orders to raise the flag and start moving forward only. They are approaching a large gate at a large border post. Horses and ordinary people. The soldiers clearly cannot overcome such an obstacle in their path. The gate opens, and out of it, a man of aristocratic appearance appears, who immediately clarifies who their leader is. The hero asks a counter question about who he is. He introduces himself. His name is Yu Jia. General Wu reports that this is His Highness, the second prince. She's a little surprised that they will be held by the prince's personal order. He just wants to know where his brother is. In the moment a hostage shows his voice, asking his brother to save him. Yu Jia demands that the hero release his brother. General Wu doesn't understand why he's angry. After all, they only want to go to Tongmen, and then they will let His Highness go. The second prince sets its own conditions. He wants his brother released first, and then he'll let them go. Pass is its only condition. General Wu stands his ground, unwilling to give in. Yu Jia understands that they will not come to an agreement. The hero intervenes in the conversation, noting that they are not. They talk about his conditions, but his brother's life is in his hands. The second prince declares that if even one hair falls from the hostage's head, he will kill the guy. Tenjin pulls off the third prince's ear with a confident movement, saying that this is just the beginning. The prisoner screams as if he is being slaughtered like a pig. All Ning soldiers point their weapons at the hero. Even the second prince is getting ready to bear your sword. General Wu doesn't understand what this guy is trying to achieve. The hero is looming over us, the body of the hostage, clarifying who dared to move. Such an action causes Yu Jia to recover from his anger. He asks not to touch his brother, but the hero notices that this request will be granted if only he passes them. The second prince agrees to this if the interlocutors promise not to hurt their brother again and let him go. General Wu says she has already promised that once they reach Tongmen, she will give him to leave. Hearing this, Yu Jia orders the soldiers to disperse to let the enemies pass. Subordinates doubt this. Then the aristocrat reminds that he is higher in status from why everyone has to accept this truth. Feng's squad is allowed to pass through the checkpoint. On the way, General Wu decides to find out why Tenjin was like this. I'm sure Yu Jia will give up. The guy explains that it's just human nature. He draws an analogy with the fact that if Wu Ying was in captivity, the interlocutor would have done the same. Hearing this, the leader rushes to find out where the hero's family is now. The guy points to the sky with his finger, and the girl understands that his family is in the sky. The hero is the same, notices it so that it's better not to appear there. General Wu decides to find out what the guy was doing before joining the army. Tenjin gives a simple answer: killed. It's a little unsettling. So the guy explains that this means that he is a murderer. She looks him up and down carefully. Feeling the scrutinizing gaze on him, Tenjin clarifies that he doesn't look like the killer. The girl admits that she can't believe it, because he doesn't seem to. So, she asks if he's a killer. How many lives did he take? The guy replies that countless of them. At this point, the group is approaching the city, the gate to which they're closing it. The second prince orders them to stop, because they promise to let him go. My brother when they get to Tongmen. The hero also says that it is too early for this. Yu Jia rushes to find out what Tenjin is up to, but the latter does not have time to answer Tom, because an arrow is driven into the ground in front of his horse. The archers on the walls say not to come so close. The girl presents, demanding an audience with the local general. A man in a different combat uniform looks out from the wall. The rest of them, General Wu recognizes him as General Zhencheng, whom she interviewed recently. She asks if he recognizes her. When she doesn't get an answer, she asks again if they want to let her and them in. Man notifies that the city gates are already closed, so the only way to get inside is by climbing up ropes that throw the squad off the walls. The Feng soldiers begin to climb up, and the girl decides to find out what the hero is waiting for. Tenjin rushes to find out what they will do with the hostage. General Wu states that there is no point about. Don't worry. She informs one of the soldiers that he can pick it up when they enter the building. city. The hero specifies whether the interlocutor wants to kill him. The girl notices that the guy will not give. The third prince should leave. Tenjin also says that, in his opinion, people should keep their word. The girl does not believe her ears, because Tenjin wants to entrust them to the enemies. This sounds like crazy. She puts her hand on his shoulder, insisting that they won't argue about this, so he needs to follow her. The guy also asks the girl to climb first, and he will stay. A representative of the fair sex does not understand what he wants to do. The hero also notices that if she didn't keep her word, then he couldn't do that. General Wu stresses that Yu Sheng is the Prince of Ning, and that he is their enemy, so they can't let him go. Eugene intervenes in the conversation, saying that the murder of the third Prince Nai, it will not affect anything, and they will only make more evil Nings for themselves, which is not very good for them. Realizing that this is a very good argument, to which she has nothing to answer, the girl reports that this is the last time she follows his advice. The scientist also asks that the brother not join the marriage conflict with General Wu over Yu Sheng. The hero thanks his friend for his help, and then he orders us to climb. A small argument begins between Eugene and Tenjin because the former does not want to leave his brother. 1. The hero declares that if he dies, then he is not to blame. At this point to them, a cavalry detachment is approaching. The second prince asks when they will finally let his brother go. The hero, noticing that almost everything his men are already in, and he throws the hostage at the other man's feet. The second prince is angry at this treatment of his loved one. He takes off 2 guys with their squad. The hero also asks Eugene to hurry up and climb the wall. General Wu commands the archers to shoot in such a way as to protect General Tang. Several arrows hit the second prince's escort, but the latter dodges them. After that, a golden armor of energy appears on it. The third prince intervenes. He asks not to catch up with Tenjin. This surprises my brother a little, which tries the reason for such a request. Then the former hostage explains that let Tenjin in. Hurt him, but he saved him. This confuses him. Intervenes in the conversation. General Yang, who reveals that Wu Mei wanted to kill him, but Tenjin stopped her to save his life. At this moment, the hero had almost reached the walls. While Eugene was climbing up on the ledge itself, the boy, he looked at the Ning people. The second prince stated that the next time they met, one of them would be definitely going to die. General Wu points out that the guy trusts his enemies, but they don't trust him, so he shouldn't do it anymore. Doing something so stupid. The hero notices that he simply does not want his conscience to torment him, and the actions of others are their concern. After that, the girl introduces the guy to the man who let them in. In the city, Eugene says that his brother should be thanked. The girl remembers all of it. He deserved it, knowing that he had behaved very bravely. He caught Yu Sheng, saved her, and saved all of them. She ponders whether there is a suitable reward for him. While she's thinking, the man introduces himself. He is the head of the Guangzhou clan. It states that defending Tongmen and capturing an enemy prince among numerous enemies shows that the guy is a real hero. Tenjin says that he was just very lucky. Interlocutor takes it for modesty. After that, the man turns to General Wu, asking him to enter the hall. For a vacation, after all, she made a very grueling journey. The girl also asks that too. Tired soldiers were also treated accordingly. A representative of the fair sex asks Tenjin to go after her, after which she appeals to General Guangzhou, wanting to learn more about Tongmen. She specifies how many soldiers are there. The man says less than 20,000. Because of the Ning, many men from Tongmen were defeated or missing, so the city is in big trouble. Mei changes the subject, deciding to find out what the other person knows about General Ziyang. The same one tells that Ziyang has returned to Yangcheng with a defeat, which greatly angered the king, because of which the general's life hangs in the balance. This would not only have a bad effect on his entire family in the future, but also not on the Wu family. The girl is the same. She says her family won't be involved. General Wu clarifies whether 10,000 Tongmen soldiers will be able to provide protection, because Ningyi, they are outnumbered, so they can't guarantee victory. For this reason, the girl asks if there will be reinforcements from Yangcheng. The man declares that the king has already sent a corps of soldiers. Mi wondered who was leading them. Their leader is Wang Kai. This is the name. Surprises the fair sex. General Wu notes that if you move quickly, the journey from Yangcheng to Tongmen will take 5 days. Therefore, it can be said that Yangcheng's troops will arrive soon. General Guangzhou states that Liang Kai, it took him 7 days to move, and that he had sent men several times to hurry him, but that he had not been able to do so. Makes excuses and avoids it. It's obvious to the man that the Liang family doesn't want to join the war to save your soldiers. The girl understands that without the support of soldiers, Tongmen will definitely fall. Evening comes. The hero was given a separate room. He hears a knock on the door, and then allows you to log in. Eugene and a middle-aged man enter the room. The scientist explains that General Zhang Zheng sent this doctor to see his brother. Kenjin also notices that he has only minor injuries. Eugene puts the emphasis on the fact that they don't know when the Ning soldiers will surround them, so to his brother, "You should heal your body as soon as possible." The doctor also notes that if minor injuries occur, if injuries are not treated in time, they may soon lead to death. Wise. The person also says that it is better not to act recklessly, because if the wounds worsen, even if they are injured, the general doctor will not be able to cure him. After this, Tenjin simply can't refuse from treatment. When it's all over, he thanks the doctor for his help. Eugene asks for his brother. Listen to what the doctor said about his injuries. Realizing that you need to take care of your health, the hero gives a positive answer. Eugene is the same. Decides to get down to business when the doctor leaves them. It tells that the relationship between General Zhang Zheng and the Wu family aren't exactly natural, so he's afraid that General Zhang Zheng won't go to Yang Chen, and General Wu might risk his life to help him. Tenjin becomes curious about what happened to Yang Cheng and Liang Kai in the past. The scientist is the same. Notices that this is a long story. Feng has 4 houses: Isa Young's house, Liang's house, Wu's house, and Zhang's house. These 4 houses manage more than half of Feng's strength. The eldest son of the Isa Yang family, Yang Haochun, is the most important. General Feng has a noble rank and controls 15 battalions of soldiers. This, more than 150,000 people. Yang Zhenkun is the head of the Liang family, which is located in the east. Besides, he's also a noble. Liang Zhenkun controls 10 battalions of soldiers. Wu Yuguan is the head of the Wu family, which is located in the west. He has a noble title and controls 8 battalions of soldiers, including the 2nd and 3rd legions. Zhang Tian, the head. The Chun Tian family, the best Feng commander, has a noble rank and controls 6 battalions of soldiers, which means that the 4 families control almost 400,000 soldiers. In addition, the royal family controls 200,000. Each of the local forces has 200,000. That is the total number of Feng forces. In this war with the Ning, the royal family was directly involved with 6. By the battalions, the Zai Yang family sent 10 and the Wu family laid out. But no one expected Ning. They will be ready before them and will have 400,000 soldiers on the Eastern River. Feng army. It was suddenly surrounded from the north by the Eastern River. Along the Eastern River, both sides entered into a war. A decisive battle in the mountain plains, with 400,000 Ningxia soldiers. Feng was defeated. This happened before Tenjin and Eugene met. The hero realizes that this means that the Ning will come here after they win. Eugene notices that the Ning army is well prepared, because in just 2 days it destroyed 200,000 men of their strongest army and took control of Tongming. He's afraid of what's next. Yanqing will fall. The scholar even dares to say that there is a spy from Ning among them, who is bothering them. Reports everything to the enemy. Tenjin asks if his brother is sure of these words. The latter explains that it takes several steps, months to gather 400,000 soldiers and provide for all the needs of the army, so Ning. They were ready and waiting for an attack, which looks very suspicious. Hero notices that this is not something they should care about right now, because at the moment there is only one problem, one thing that is urgent. Eugene asks with interest what his brother means by that. Tenjin claims that this is a dream. He asks the scientist to leave the room and not disturb him. The hero wakes up in the morning. He doesn't know where his clothes are. In his room it turns out. She turns out to be Xiao Yu's maid in this building. General Zheng Yizeng has already ordered new clothes and breakfast to make it ready. Tenjin asks the maid to leave her clothes and leave his room. The girl says that she couldn't leave because she'd been told to help him change. The guy is already more aggressive. He demands that she leave the room because he wants to change himself. The maid stops me on the way out of the room, not understanding what I did wrong because I upset the general with something. The hero explains that he just isn't used to it. After that, Xiao Yu is removed. The guy starts to eat when General Wu's voice interrupts him, suggesting that he go to the next meal. Other important things. She puts her hand on his shoulder, insisting that they won't stay in Tongmen for a long time. The girl wants them to go out to the square on the day Yang Cheng arrives. The hero declares that he is not interested in this. Mei also notes that she did not ask for his opinion. The brunette clarifies what she wants. A representative of the fair sex replies that she has come just to say hello. Tenjin mockingly notices that the girl does not show proper respect for her leader. These words make me angry. She draws her sword, holding the blade to her throat. The other person. The hero says that he thinks Miss Wu has no shortage of soldiers. The girl doesn't. Understands what the guy is driving at. The dark-haired man grabs the girl's sword with his chopsticks, saying only one word, friend. This a little surprises the girl, so she rushes to clarify in order to accurately understand the intentions of the guy. If he wants to be her friend, In her mind's eye, Mi is glad that the other person said he wanted to be her friend. At this moment, Tenjin says he can let her be his friend. This makes the girl laugh, so she decides, find out if the guy knows who she is. The brunette reveals that she is the eldest daughter of the Wu family, one of nobles, and is responsible for the second and third platoons.